My name's Khrys and I'm speaking on behalf of Life, the Basic Manual. What I want to share with you is part of my journey and how I got from not being able to stand being in a gym to becoming a world powerlifting gold medalist within 3 years. Some of the things I want to be able to share with you is about trusting and testing out your own body, seeing what you can do and not what other people tell you that your body can do. What I want to share with you is my experience and my journey about how I got to becoming the world champion and what happened in terms of life and the doors that closed that I thought should remain open, and what was opened up once I let go of what I was trying to control and taken the opportunity that was given when something else had opened up, just by being a little bit open-minded and trusting the process to try something new and then learning to love that something new. For me, that was powerlifting. What I want to talk to you about is my journey, and to get the message across of sometimes what we think we have planned that is best for us is actually not what's best for us. And that somehow in life we have lost, I guess, the ability to trust that the universe provides for us and to become more attuned to it. And that's the story that I want to give to you today, is my story about how I came to the place of where I am today. And, partly of standing here and thinking about, I am the IPF powerlifting world champion with 3 gold medals and a silver, coming from a place of illness, coming from a place where I was told that I was no good at anything, coming from a place where I was told I was weak, and a place where, as a foreigner and English as a second language, everything that was against me, of suppressing me and who I was, and how trusting what was put in my path and just taking it, just trusting that process, has changed my life beyond my wildest dreams, in short. And I think part of that is what I want to tell you is over 10 years ago I had a terrible motorbike accident where the driver decided to drive off, and I dislocated my shoulder. My dream and what I thought I was going to be good at was mixed martial artist. The irony is at the time I worked as a domestic violence specialist in a refuge, and there I was coming into work at times with a cut lip and a black eye. I wasn't very good at it because I found it very difficult to strike back. But I thought, in terms of my body shape, that was something that I was good at. I wanted to learn martial arts. I had previous history where female members of my family were terribly assaulted. That's a different story, and I thought that's never going to happen to me. So the way forward, I figured, was I'll become a great fighter. I was in the boxing ring training as a mixed martial artist. I invested 7 years training 4 or 5 times a week, spending a lot of money, travelling miles to go and see the master, because if I was going to be good at this, I had to see the best. And I travelled 50 miles from where I lived every Saturday to train with the master himself in Wing Chun Kung Fu. On top of that, I was training in boxing a couple of times a week and doing some grappling training as well with the mixed martial arts. What happened was, in my first friendly fight, my shoulder popped out, and that put me out of action, and I got depressed, and I thought that was it. Everything, my old script felt quite true, that I was unable to achieve or be good at anything. And what happened was I couldn't afford to go and see physiotherapists, etc. At the time I wasn't working, I wasn't a high earner, and someone kindly pointed me in the direction of a personal trainer who was very skilled in terms of rehabilitation work. And they said, look, don't have an operation. People have had bad reports of having operations on dislocated limbs. Go and see this guy. And I did. And I started training with this trainer, and a lot of the rehab work and the rotary calf muscles, I was getting stronger and stronger. And sadly, he left. But when he left, he gave me a gift. And he pointed in the direction across the gym, and he said, if you're going to train with anybody else and you want to get stronger and you want to take care of that shoulder, go and see that guy. And when he pointed to this guy, he was this kind of 6-foot giant of a guy from Latvia, and I looked at him and I was terrified. But I trusted the process and I trusted my trainer. And I approached this guy and I said, hey, you've been recommended, this is what's going on. I was a mixed martial artist, I'm dying to get back to it, fix my shoulder. And I started training with him, and after 6 months, he's a very quiet man, so he wasn't very intimidating, but he'd come and he'd just put that much more weight, and he'd say, now do it with this weight, now do it with that weight, now do it with that weight. And then one day he just stops and he goes, look, he said, you are freakishly strong, were his words, for your age and weight category. And I would like to enter you in powerlifting competitions. I'm a trainer, I do bodybuilding and I train powerlifters, and I think you will win competitions. At that point I laughed and I said, you know, I know I've got good skin, but do you know how old I am? At the time I was 47, I'd never trained in a gym, I couldn't think of anything worse than lifting heavy weights. And when he described what it was, I just thought, not for me, but I'll give it a go. I just trusted that process. And I started training with him. I found that I was quite good. I didn't realise how good I was until I joined his personal training gym, and they have this champions board, a little bit of an incentive for people. And I looked up at the champions board and I looked at people's numbers for their squat, deadlift and bench, and I thought, okay, I'll pitch myself, see how good I am. And within 3 weeks I knocked off the reigning champion off the leaders board, and I suddenly became the talk of the gym. Who are you? Are you the new person? Are you the new person? Are you Khrys? And I was got to say that kind of felt good. You know, it was a good ego boost. It gave me a bit of confidence. So I carried on. I went to my first competition. I came 7th or 8th out of about 15 women. I was relatively pleased with that. And I trained harder and I trained harder and I committed myself. And 3 years down the line, I found myself with a British Championships in Masters, 63 kilograms, a world champion, 3 gold medals and a silver, a Commonwealth champion, and currently hold the British record in squat and bench press. And I never thought that anything like that would happen in 3 years, that my body at my age could do what it can. And what I've learned as my journey of different experts giving me their opinion and saying things like, I mean, one of my good friends who's a sports therapist said, you shouldn't be lifting that much at your age. At the time it was a 100 kilogram deadlift. And what happened to me is I started to listen to me and my body and not to what somebody else said. And I thought, my body can actually lift more than this. That 100 kilograms went to 147. And I think it can get higher, because I have never felt so amazing, so confident, so strong as a woman within my body, regardless of some of the comments and negative comments about women and women having muscle and not being able to be in their femininity. And I think that made me question what femininity actually meant. And it's okay to be strong, and it's okay to have muscle, and it's okay to start something as late as age 47. And some of that is only by trusting the process. And that's exactly what I did. And it has taught me much more now just to listen and stop and listen to what is out there. When one door shuts, something amazing is open. And that has been my journey, not just with powerlifting, but in my career, in my education, in all my different experiences of what I've had in this short time on this earth. What I've learned is that stop and listen and just take that opportunity. I would never give up powerlifting now. I can't think of what I might do without powerlifting, and the world is my oyster. Next year I am going to break a few world records in terms of my lifts, and that's the plan.